This is a memoir, but are there any parts of it that are more fictional?
Plenty. How can I remember that far back? I have to, when I start it, I have to create a scenario to fit in with what I felt was truthful about ourselves in this particularly bizarre situation. I remember people, some of them, and I have to make up people and scenes to fit in with what was happening to me, because I see myself, to be totally truthful, as a rather comic character in this. I am quite serious, but I'm also very naive, and I do put my foot in it right, left and centre, because that's my character rather. I'm very earnest on the surface, and I boob right, left and centre.
Did you feel that you needed the distance from Africa to be able to write about Africa?
Absolutely. I think that's a really important point. When I'm back in England, I see Africa in a far bigger perspective. And yes, I definitely, and it was the same with the Congo. I didn't make the connection with the current news or anything until I was actually writing my book. And as you know, as you're writing a book, you start making connections and discovering things about yourself and your ideas. And that's a very important part of writing. It's why it's so therapeutic.
Why were you told that there was a coming danger?
It was more than a coming danger, it was a catastrophe. The nearest town was a place called Stanleyville, which is now called Kisangani, I think, where it was quite a big town, plenty of expatriates there. The Simbas, the enemy, had moved in, and they had closed off the whole town and taken every single white person hostage. So they were, in a bastion. And we were only 150 miles downriver. They had to get us out at once. And of course they took the women and the children out first. And that was one of the most fearful things in my life, because I had to leave my husband behind. I had a 1-year-old child, and I was literally about to give birth. I was starting my labour pains. And I had to flee in that state.
This was obviously a very traumatic experience for you, particularly in that phase of your life. Why did you wait so long to write the book?
Because it was a very dramatic story, and everybody thought it was a very good story. But the things that have happened in the Congo since made this seem very insignificant to me. I was just a white woman having to give birth under appalling circumstances. And quite honestly, it was really rather funny, in fact. And then I thought, I really must take a line on this and explore who I was at that time in history. A time in history that was, looking back, incredibly important. It was a crucial point of African history.
Did you find it fairly easy to return to yourself as you were then?
Jolly good question. I had a double whammy. I both wanted this new, exciting country, but I also looked for the nostalgia of the colonies that I remembered, which had, a whole lot of things that seep into your soul. So however much intellectually I wanted this whole country to be new and exciting and dynamic, part of me yearned for my swags of coral creeper, my bougainvilleas over the veranda, all the things that I remembered with great nostalgia from my childhood. And that very much comes into the book, that I want that back.